Well, Victoria has recorded 6 new cases of coronavirus and no deaths in the past 24 hours. Premier Daniel Andrews remains under pressure to ease restrictions as he faces another legal battle over the lockdown. His office has been the target of vandals meanwhile. They've spray-painted the words "Sack Dan." Live to our reporters Patrick Murrell and Andrea Crothers. First to you, Pat. Police considering laying criminal charges against the truck driver who spread coronavirus from Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. This super spreader truckie has taken coronavirus from Melbourne to not one, but 2 regional Victorian towns. He initially caught it from a relative who worked at the Butcher's Club in the Chadstone shopping centre, who caught it through that cluster. This truckie then travelled to Kilmore for work, but then illegally sat down to eat at a cafe, infecting a number of people there. Health authorities were able to get on top of that outbreak fairly quickly because he told them about it. What he didn't tell them in that interview on the 2nd of October was that he also visited Shepparton. Now, 3 people there at least have tested positive to coronavirus, and health authorities fear the actual number may be far higher, as they've been moving around the community for a week before realising they've had coronavirus. Take a look.
What's going on? I thought we were protected out here.
One person can get through and spread chaos.
Now no one's going to trust anybody again.
Some pretty concerned residents there, understandably furious that the virus has been brought there to Shepparton. Contact tracers here are about a week behind the ball, so they're desperately trying to catch up. The town is in the midst of a testing blitz. Yesterday we saw massive queues. People turned away, told that they would have to wait 6 hours or more to get a test. And even today, before the testing clinic opened, there were already lengthy queues, a sign of how seriously Shepparton is taking the situation. Now, as of recently, health authorities had to take the word of positive coronavirus cases as the full truth, but that hasn't been happening, of course, and it has had dire consequences in this particular scenario. So Premier has flagged additional methods to obtain the truth, including using the Chief Health Officer's powers to seize the phone records and GPS data of positive cases to confirm that they are, in fact, telling the truth. As for that truck driver, he's been referred to Victoria Police, who are now looking into whether they should lay criminal charges.
Patrick Merrill, thank you. We'll wait to see. It is pretty concerning, and you think there need to be consequences. Meanwhile, Andrea Crothers is outside the Premier's electorate office. It's been vandalised again, Andrea.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. This is the second time in 3 weeks the Premier's electorate office has been vandalised. As you can see behind me, "Sack Dan, Sack Dan." They are the words which are emblazoned in red paint across the front of the office here. The windows have been smashed, not completely broken, but there was a half brick found out here this morning as well. So repairs are starting to begin for those this morning. Police are also investigating, but it's perhaps just a sign of the unrest that is occurring in Melbourne as this lockdown continues to seemingly go on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, here was some of the reaction from the ground this morning.
I think the restrictions in Victoria are just way over the top. But still, I don't agree that it should bring this type of criminal damage. You know, there's other ways you can show your grievances and show your anguish and everything else.
Meanwhile, Tom, there is yet another legal battle being mounted over the Victorian government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. This time it's 2 anti-lockdown campaigners, one of whom has been charged with incitement after allegedly posting on social media encouraging people for a mass gathering last month. Now, in this fight, they're taking it to the Supreme Court. They argue that the current level of restrictions places a burden on their freedom of speech, particularly when it comes to political expression.
Without a declaration of lawfulness, the current stay-at-home directions render it an offence to leave your home for one of the allowed reasons if you're also going to be engaging in political communication. To use Kerry's case as an example, you can leave your home to exercise, but you can't leave your home to exercise if you are going to be carrying a sign.
Tom, will be another headache for the Premier. There's about a dozen legal cases on foot at the moment. The Supreme Court hasn't set a date for this particular one as yet.